Hey everyone, today I wanted to dedicate our session to lists, using HTML lists in Canvas. And there are rich content ways that you can create lists, and there are different types of lists that you can create. So we'll talk about what kind of lists you can do, some of the advanced features, and how to really trick out your lists. So I have various examples of lists on this Canvas page, and you can get the link to this page in the description below. But the two basic lists that you're probably already familiar with are unordered lists and ordered lists. And I have the code underneath each of these lists that I have here. So an unordered list would be something of a checklist, where these are the items in the list, and the order of the items doesn't really matter. So it's just a bunch of bullets. Check all that apply. And the ordered lists are different because it would be sequential. So you have step 1, then you progress to step 2, so there's a sequence to it. The code for these lists are as such. You have an unordered list in the HTML, and then you'll have list items. So you just list each one of the list items, and each one of those list items in an unordered list would be part of the bullet list. And an ordered list would look very similar, except for you have OL between the angled brackets instead of UL. So it's an ordered list instead of an unordered list. And then the sequence that you have the list items makes a difference because you have the numbered sequence right there. So I'm going to hop in to edit this page, and I'm going to talk through what you don't want to do. So suppose I have these 4 items. I have bananas, bread, pasta sauce, and milk. What I don't want to do is make a manual list using punctuation, for example. Here I have some dashes and some spaces, and this is not a good list. A screen reader would have a very challenging time dictating this to a student who needed the screen reader. What you want to do is create a formal list. You want that to be dictated as a list. The easiest way to do that is to get your items and create a list from the rich content editor. So here's an unordered list, and if I wanted an ordered list, then I can choose an ordered list. And from both an accessibility standpoint as well as a web development standpoint, this is the proper way that you would want to make a list. Now let's take a look at my next list. This is a little bit different. So I have unordered, I have an ordered list, and then I have lists within lists. And so this is an ordered list, but within some of the list items, then I have additional lists, or I might have additional ordered lists. And from a code standpoint, I can see how I would do that. I started out with an unordered list, and then I have my list items. So there's the first list item, there's the second list item, and before I finish with this list item, I create a new list, a new unordered list. And that unordered list has my list items. So I have 3 of them right here. And then the important thing is in my code, I need to close off the unordered list. So this list is complete and it's finished, and then I close off my list item. So technically, this is all the second item here. It's a bread item, and then I have an unordered list within the line item of my bread item. And then I continue on with my next list item, and then I have my final list item. But before I close it out, this is all my list item. You can see that I have an ordered list within that list item. And that gives me this nesting effect. And so this list is good in terms of accessibility, in terms of web design. This would be a proper list. It's technically 3 lists all within one list because I have an unordered list within a list item, and then I have an ordered list within another list item. And this is how I would write that code. All of it falls within one list. Now let's hop back to the edit page and let's see how you can create lists within lists. And there are 2 different ways that you can do that. One would be the rich content editor, which is a good approach. So here I have pasta sauce as one of my list items, and I want to create a list within the list. Maybe I want to have different types of pasta sauce. And so I'll go ahead and hit and enter right here in the rich content editor, and I'll say I want marinara and maybe a vodka sauce and perhaps 4 cheeses. So right now these are all separate list items, but I want to create a list within the list, and so I'm going to highlight these 3 items that fall within this other item, and I'm going to indent it. And you can see, even though I'm in the rich content editor, that there's a breadcrumb trail. And so I have an unordered list, and this is where the cursor is. So within this cursor, I have an unordered list, and then I have a list item, which would be the pasta sauce. And then I have a new unordered list, and then another list item. And then you can see if I put my cursor on the pasta sauce, that falls within an unordered list and a list item. And if I click here on the milk section, then I can see the unordered list, the list item, which is milk, an ordered list, and then a list item, which is where my cursor is. So the rich content editor gives us a good view, but I'm going to hop into the HTML editor so that we can look at that list. And here you can see I have my list within list. I have my unordered lists, and I can see the indentations. And so first list item, second list item, before I close the list item, I make an entirely new unordered list with 3 list items right there. And then I close it, I add another list item, and then before I close that list item, I have an unordered list right here. And that's what I did when I used the indent. It essentially created an unordered list for me. And then for milk, the last list item, I have an unordered list sitting in there. And you could even go one more. Suppose I have the second item here, check the expiration date, and I want to put another list. So I can say, okay, let's put an unordered list, and I'm going to put my list item. I'll hit a hard return. And my item is, if it's expired, put it back. That seems reasonable enough. Let's put another list item. If it's not expired, go ahead and take it. And then I'll go ahead and close out that list. And that's very important. You need to close it out before you close out the list item. Now let's go ahead and save that and see where we're at. We should have actually 3 nested lists right there. So I have my list item, my bullet point, there's my milk, and then I have steps to the milk. And one of the steps, number 2, is check the expiration date. And then I have additional bullet points. If it's expired, put it back. If it's not expired, take it. And so that's how you can nest list items within each other. And of course, I did that in the HTML editor. If I wanted to, I could do that in the rich content editor as well. I would just highlight my list item and then I can indent it farther. Now, ordered and unordered lists are the most common types of lists that you're going to deal with in your classes, I'm sure. I can make that statement with confidence, but there are other types of lists as well. And so I'm going to talk through a descriptive list. What are descriptive lists? They're similar to bullet points, except for you don't have the actual bullet points, but instead you have terms. So you'll have a description list, and then you'll have a term within that list, and then you'll have a description of the term. Sort of like a glossary. So here's a glossary that we have. You can see my code right here. This is all the code for this text right here. I have a header, and then I have a DL, so my descriptive list. The title is optional. In this case, it's nautical terms, but that can be whatever you want, or you can not have a title at all. And then I have a DT, so that's me defining a term. And in this case, the first term is not. And you can see that's bold. I didn't bold it. It did it automatically within Canvas. And then I have a DD. That's me describing or defining the DT. And so in this case, I have the description. A knot is a unit of speed equaling on all that. And so that falls within the DD. I have the paragraph right there. I did bold not. And so that's me doing that as opposed to the first not, which is the definition term. That's automatically bolded. And then you can see I have port and I have the definition of port. And so you can see the DT right here. And then you can have the definition right there. And you can use this for creating a glossary on your Canvas page. And at the end, I close off my DL, which is my description list. Another way you can use description lists is down here. So in this case, I have the DT as authors and editor. And so I can have a list of people who are the authors. And maybe if I have a list of editors, then I can put those as my DDs and my DTs. So the DT would be author, editor, and then the DDs would be all the people who are authors or all the people who are editors. Here's another example where I have 2 DTs, and so those are 2 descriptive terms, and then I have 1 definition. And in this case, I have English language in the US, English language in Great Britain, but I have 1 DD that falls within both of those. And again, a screen reader is going to appreciate the effort that you put in here. Finally, right here, I have a description list, and it's more like a dictionary instead of a glossary like I showed you before. And so I have the dictionary terms, happiness and rejoice, and then you can see all these different lines are the DDs. And so you might have a pronunciation, is it a noun, and then the definitions for those. So you can have a Canvas page full of definitions. And then the last thing I'm going to show you today is we're going to go back to those ordered and unordered lists, and how can you customize the different style types. And you can do that easily in the rich content editor, but I want to make you aware of the possibility of using your own CSS. And so I have a bullet point list, but it's made of circles instead of bullet points. Here's another list that's made of squares. And here's an upper Roman numeral list and then a lower alpha. So Alpha Bravo Charlie. And on the right, you can see all of my code. I just copied and pasted the code that I have right here. And so that you can see, it's just a plain list. You have an unordered list, you have 4 list items, you close the unordered list, but then I include this little bit of style. So style equals, and then the list style type. And in this case, I put circle. And right here, I put the style type is square. And then here I put upper Roman and lower alpha. So once again, the link to this course that you're seeing is in the description below, and you can go ahead and visit this course and you'll be able to copy and paste all of this code and put it into your own Canvas sandbox, and you can play around with lists that way. You could even create a bullet list and then have upper Roman numeral lists as the second tier of that bullet list. Now if I hop back over to the editing window here, I'm going to highlight this list, and one of the good things about the newest rich content editor that we have is I can determine some of these things just right from the rich content editor. And so I don't have lower alphas, but I have uppercase alphas. And I have Roman numerals, and I have the circles. And so this gives you some good options as well. Now personally, when I am making lists, whether it's ordered or unordered lists, I like to do it in the HTML editor. I think I like having control over the elements, and I like really seeing from the back end how it's going to play out. And the more you practice it, the more you're familiar with the HTML editor, then you just get more comfortable with it. But the rich content editor is pretty robust as well. And the most important thing is that you're actually using lists and that you're not manually creating your own list using slashes or your own characters. You want it to be an actual HTML list for the purpose of screen readers, accessibility, and good web design. So as we close out, I'll emphasize the ordered list here. The keys to success: if you want to be successful, you need to watch my videos and also visit the website howtocanvas.com. And if you want to optimize that success, then you'll subscribe to the channel as well as follow on social media. And if you do these things, then you're just that much closer to becoming self-actualized. And I truly want that for all of you. And so it's important that you subscribe to the channel so that you can get to that step in your life. Until next time.
Happy digging and running.